Organic LEDs. Brought to you by the soothing voice of Benjamin along with the artistic talents of Victor and the support and genius of Jennifer and Luke. Before we can talk about organic LEDs, let's discuss your average LED and how it works. If you take an N-type and P-type semiconductor and place them side by side, you obtain a p-n junction diode. There exists a depletion region surrounding the physical junction due to the excess carriers in each half recombining with each other. This leaves behind ionized and immobile atoms that create an electric field, which opposes further carrier diffusion and drives hole drift in the direction of the field. When the P-type material is placed at a higher voltage than the N-type material, the diode is in forward bias and carriers overcome the internal field of the depletion region to diffuse, which sets up a current from the P side to the N side. Now that we've seen how a diode looks, let's delve into its band diagram. With no bias applied, the Fermi level is constant and far from the band edges, meaning that few carriers will cross from the valence to conduction band. When a positive bias is applied to the P side, as in the previous drawing, the potential difference is lowered between the two sides, demonstrated by the lesser slope, and the Fermi levels of each side are no longer equal. This leads to hole diffusion into the inside. Looking back at our physical diagram, we see that when holes diffuse into the inside, they recombine with electrons to lower the overall energy of the system and release photons, which we see as light. Now that we've seen how a traditional LED works, let's take a look at organic LEDs. Instead of p-doped and n-doped semiconductors, organic LEDs are made up of multiple layers. The top and bottom, called the seal and substrate respectively, are usually made of glass or plastic and serve to protect the rest of the device. Below the seal is the cathode, or negative terminal. Underneath is the emissive layer, where light is produced. Next we have the conductive layer, the source of the LED's charge carriers. Between the conductive layer and substrate is the positive terminal, or anode. As indicated by its name, the middle two layers are organic polymers that are capable of conducting electricity. During operation, voltage is applied across the OLED. This causes holes to be injected into the highest occupied molecular orbital, or HOMO, of the polymer within the conductive layer. These holes then diffuse and recombine with electrons near the emissive layer, producing photons. The frequency of this light is dependent on the difference in energy between the conductive layer polymer's HOMO and emissive layer polymer's lowest unoccupied molecular orbital, or LUMO. By combining thousands of individual red, green, and blue OLEDs together, they function as pixels to create a high-resolution picture. On that note, what other uses are there for OLEDs in
the real world?
First, let's start with current applications. OLEDs are used in many TV screens and smartphones, due in part to Samsung's position as an industry leader in OLED production. The fashion industry is also beginning to integrate them into wearable electronic devices, and there's plenty of ongoing research into flexible electronics. For example, as of spring 2017, Google has begun investing $800 million into flexible screen technologies for use in future smartphones. In addition to being flexible, OLEDs have many advantages over other screen technologies. Because they are not backlit like normal LCD screens, they consume no power when displaying black and consume significantly less power when displaying most other colors. Further, they can attain a higher contrast ratio than LCD screens due to no backlighting. Most importantly, however, their method of production is cheap and efficient in comparison to normal LEDs. In fact, researchers are working on developing methods to manufacture them using modified inkjet printers. This concludes our overview of organic LEDs, and we hope that they light up your world. Until next time.
That's all, folks.